Shalom, my friends. Today we are going to talk about something that is happening to every single one of you, whether you realize it or not. You are under attack. Not a physical attack, but a spiritual one, which is far more dangerous. There is an intelligent, ancient force whose sole purpose is to sabotage your destiny, to steal your joy, and to keep you from the wealth and success that is your birthright. It is the reason for your sudden self-doubt, your inexplicable lack of motivation, your recurring financial struggles. But here is the good news. The Torah, in its infinite wisdom, has given us a spiritual iron dome, a set of powerful, practical defense systems to not only protect ourselves from these attacks, but to use their energy to catapult us to an even higher level. By the end of this video, you will know how to identify a spiritual attack, and you will possess a 3-step protocol to defend yourself and emerge victorious. But first, I want you to answer this question in the comments below. Have you ever felt like invisible forces were working against you, causing everything to suddenly go wrong? Just a simple yes or no. Your answer is important because acknowledging the battle is the first step to winning it. And as you do that, I invite you to join this army of spiritual warriors. We are gathering 50,000 souls who are done being victims of circumstance and are ready to take command of their spiritual and financial lives. If you are one of us, your first act of defiance is to hit that subscribe button. It is a declaration that you will not be defeated. And if you are serious about mastering the complete system of spiritual and financial warfare, I have something extraordinary for you. I have created the Torah Millionaire Business School, a comprehensive course for only $299, but it is closing soon. In this course, I unveil the full Torah wealth system, the same 3,000-year-old Jewish money laws that built dynasties, protected families, and created unstoppable prosperity. The link is in the comments. This is not theory. This is the armory. All right, let's arm ourselves for battle. I remember a time when I was on the verge of the biggest business deal of my life. Everything was perfect. The contracts were ready. The partners were aligned. This deal was going to elevate my company to a whole new level. And then, the night before the signing, a spiritual storm hit me. Out of nowhere, I was flooded with a level of doubt and fear I had never experienced. A voice in my head, my Yetzer Hara, my negative inclination, started whispering, "You're a fraud. You're not ready for this. You're going to fail and humiliate yourself. Who do you think you are?" At the same time, I got a call that a key employee had suddenly quit. Then, my computer crashed, and I lost a crucial file. It felt like the entire universe was conspiring to stop me. I was paralyzed with anxiety. I wanted to cancel the meeting, to run and hide. I felt a physical heaviness, a spiritual exhaustion that was completely out of proportion to the circumstances. I was under a full-scale spiritual assault. The modern world dismisses this as negative self-talk or a bad day. The Torah knows better. This is spiritual warfare. The Yetzer Hara is not just a bad mood. It is an intelligent, strategic adversary. The Talmud refers to it as the Satan, which in Hebrew means the accuser or the adversary. Its goal is to block your mission. And here is the crucial truth you must understand. The intensity of the attack is a measure of the importance of your destiny.
The Yetzer Hara does not waste its ammunition on people who are going nowhere. It attacks you precisely because you are a threat. It attacks you when you are on the verge of a major breakthrough, a promotion, a new level of wealth, a deeper connection with God. The attack is a sign that you are on the right path. It is a spiritual compliment. The cost of not recognizing this is catastrophic. You mistake a spiritual attack for a sign that you should stop. You interpret the resistance as proof that you are on the wrong path. And so you retreat, right at the moment you should be charging forward. The Yetzer Hara wins. Your destiny is aborted, and you are left in a state of quiet desperation, wondering why you can never seem to break through. So, what is the Torah's blueprint for spiritual self-defense? The ultimate story is that of Jacob. The night before he is to reunite with his estranged and powerful brother Esau, Jacob is left alone. And the Torah says, "And a man wrestled with him until the break of dawn." Our sages teach that this was no ordinary man. It was the guardian angel of Esau, the spiritual embodiment of the forces opposing Jacob. They wrestle all night. Jacob is wounded in his thigh, but he does not let go. As dawn breaks, the angel says, "Let me go, for the dawn is breaking." And Jacob gives his legendary response, "I will not let you go until you bless me." Jacob understood a profound secret. He knew that the very force that comes to attack you holds the key to your blessing. He didn't just survive the attack, he demanded a blessing from it. The angel blesses him, changing his name from Jacob, the supplanter, to Israel, one who has struggled with God and with men and has prevailed. He walked away with a limp, but with a new identity and a new level of power. This is the model for spiritual warfare. You don't just defend, you extract a blessing from the battle. This was the truth that saved me that night. I recognized the storm of doubt and chaos for what it was, a spiritual attack. It was the angel of Esau trying to stop me from reaching my destiny. So, instead of retreating, I decided to wrestle. I stood up and I said, "I will not let you go until you bless me." I used the attack as fuel. The fear made me double-check my presentation. The doubt made me reconnect with my why. The chaos made me pray with a level of intensity I hadn't felt in years. I walked into that meeting the next day with a limp in my spirit, but with a fire in my eyes. I was no longer just a businessman. I was a warrior who had prevailed in battle. I signed the deal, and it was even more successful than I had imagined. The attack had failed to stop me. It had only made me stronger. So, how do you become a Jacob in your own life? How do you defend yourself and extract a blessing from the attack? I want to give you a 3-step framework. I call it the Iron Dome Protocol, named after Israel's miraculous missile defense system. Step 1. Identify the incoming threat, the radar. You must learn to distinguish between a bad mood and a spiritual attack. A spiritual attack has three key signatures. It is sudden, it is overwhelming, and it is irrational. You are feeling fine, and then suddenly you are filled with despair. The level of fear or doubt is completely out of proportion to the actual problem, and the thoughts are designed to make you quit. When you detect these signatures, you must immediately say out loud, "I recognize you, Yetzer Hara. This is a spiritual attack, and you will not prevail." Naming the enemy is the first step to defeating it. It takes you out of victim mode and puts you into warrior mode. Step 2. Activate the triple-layer defense, the interceptor. The Talmud teaches that there are three things that can avert a severe decree: teshuvah, repentance, return; tefillah, prayer; and tzedakah, charity. This is the spiritual Iron Dome. When you are under attack, you must activate all three immediately. Teshuvah. This doesn't mean groveling. It means returning to your mission. You say, "God, I may have made mistakes, but I recommit myself to my divine purpose. My mission is..." State your mission. This realigns you with your higher self and cuts off the Yetzer Hara's ability to use your past failures against you. Tefillah. This is not a prayer of begging. It is a prayer of allegiance. You declare God's sovereignty. The most powerful prayer in these moments is the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. This declaration of God's unity shatters the illusion of chaos and reminds you who is truly in charge. Tzedakah. This is the most powerful and counterintuitive weapon. When you feel attacked and in a state of lack, give. Give charity. It can be a small amount. The act of giving in a moment of fear is a radical statement of faith. It says to God and to the Yetzer Hara, "My source of security is not my bank account. It is my connection to the infinite. I am a channel, not a container." This breaks the logic of the attack and unleashes a flood of divine protection. Step 3. Launch the counter-offensive, the ground force. After you have defended, you must attack. You must take one small, defiant, physical action towards your goal. If the attack is telling you that you are a failure, send one email to a potential client. If it is telling you to be lazy, work on your project for just 5 minutes. If it is telling you to give up, read one page of a book that inspires you. The Yetzer Hara wants to paralyze you. Action is the antidote to paralysis. As the great Rabbi Nachman of Breslov taught, if you don't have the strength to fight the war, at least do one small maneuver. That one small maneuver is a declaration of war, and it sends the enemy into retreat. I want to share with you a powerful example from my community that will illustrate the power of this protocol. There was a man, a successful entrepreneur, who was about to launch a new product that he had poured his heart and soul into. The week before the launch, he was hit with a devastating spiritual attack. His wife became seriously ill. His main investor suddenly pulled out. His website was hacked. He was overwhelmed with a sense of doom. He called me on the verge of cancelling the entire launch. I said, "Do you recognize what this is? This is not bad luck. This is a coordinated spiritual assault. The forces of chaos do not want this product in the world." I walked him through the Iron Dome protocol. He recommitted to his mission. He prayed the Shema with tears in his eyes. He gave a significant amount to charity, even though he was facing financial uncertainty. And then he took one small action. He sent out the launch email, even though everything in him wanted to hide. Within 24 hours, his wife's condition stabilized. A new investor appeared, offering even better terms than the first. The website was restored, and the product launch was the most successful of his career. He came back to me and said, "Rabbi, the attack was real, but so was the victory. I feel like I fought a war and won." This is the power of recognizing and responding to spiritual warfare. Let's go to the advanced level. The Kabbalah teaches that the Sitra Achra, the other side, has no life force of its own. It is a parasite. It can only feed on the divine light, the Shefa, that we give it. How do we give it this light? Through our negative emotions. When you indulge in fear, doubt, anger, or despair, you are literally feeding the very entity that is attacking you. You are giving it the power to harm you. This is why identifying the attack is so crucial. The moment you recognize that your fear is not your fear, but a weapon being used against you, you can choose not to feed it. You can starve the enemy. You can say, "I will not give you my energy. I will not give you my focus. I will not give you my fear." This is the ultimate act of spiritual self-defense. You are not just blocking the attack, you are cutting off its supply line. There is also a profound teaching in the Talmud about the nature of spiritual attacks. The sages say that the Yetzer Hara has 7 names each, revealing a different aspect of its strategy. It is called the Evil One, the Uncircumcised One, the Enemy, the Stumbling Block, the Stone, the Hidden One, and the North. The most revealing name is the North. Why North? Because in the temple, the northern side was where the sacrifices for sin were brought. The Yetzer Hara operates from the place of your guilt and shame. It uses your past failures as a weapon against your future success. This is why Teshuvah, the act of returning and recommitting, is so powerful. It neutralizes the enemy's primary weapon. When you say, "Yes, I have made mistakes, but I am not defined by them. I am defined by my mission," you are pulling the rug out from under the Yetzer Hara. You are removing its foothold. Furthermore, the Torah provides us with spiritual armor. The mitzvot, the commandments, are not just arbitrary rules. They are spiritual technologies that create a protective shield around us. When you put on tefillin, you are placing God's word on your mind and your arm, protecting your thoughts and your actions. When you keep kosher, you are protecting your body from impure energies. When you observe the Sabbath, you are creating a 24-hour sanctuary in time, where the forces of chaos cannot reach you. Every mitzvah you perform is another layer of armor. A person who is diligent in their mitzvot is a fortress. The Yetzer Hara looks at them and sees a target that is too well defended. I also want to give you a powerful protective prayer that you can use daily to fortify yourself before the attacks even come. This is based on the prayer of King David in Psalm 91, which is known in Jewish tradition as the Soldier's Psalm, recited for protection in times of danger. Every morning, before you start your day, say this: God, you are my refuge and my fortress. I dwell in the shelter of the Most High. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I am surrounded by your favor as a shield. The Yetzer Hara has no power over me, for I am yours. I walk in confidence, knowing that you fight my battles. Amen. This prayer creates a spiritual force field around you. It is not magic, it is alignment. You are declaring your allegiance to God, and that declaration invites His protection. Let me also address a critical truth that many people miss. Not every difficulty is a spiritual attack. Sometimes a challenge is a test from God, designed to strengthen you. How do you tell the difference? A test from God always has a clear lesson and a path forward. It is difficult, but it is purposeful. A spiritual attack, on the other hand, is chaotic, irrational, and designed to make you quit. A test says, grow through this. An attack says, give up. When you face difficulty, ask yourself, is there a lesson here, or is this just noise designed to distract me? If it is a lesson, embrace it. If it is an attack, fight it. So, here is my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, I want you to become a spiritual warrior. Want you to live by the Iron Dome Protocol. 1. Become a watchman. At the first sign of sudden, overwhelming negativity, identify it as an attack. 2. Immediately activate the triple-layer defense. Recommit to your mission, teshuvah. Declare God's unity, tefillah, and give charity, tzedakah. 3. Launch a counteroffensive. Take one small, defiant action towards your goal. Let me leave you with one final, powerful truth. The Torah tells us that when the Israelites were in the desert, they were attacked by the nation of Amalek. Amalek did not attack them when they were weak and vulnerable leaving Egypt. Amalek attacked them after they had witnessed the splitting of the Red Sea, after they had received manna from heaven, after they had seen miracle after miracle. Why? Because Amalek represents the spiritual force of doubt. Its goal is to attack you precisely when you are experiencing God's blessing, to make you question whether it is real. This is the most insidious form of spiritual attack, the attack that comes in the midst of your success. You get the promotion, and suddenly you feel like a fraud. You make the money, and suddenly you are filled with anxiety. You experience a miracle, and a voice whispers, "It won't last." This is Amalek, and the Torah's command is clear. Remember what Amalek did to you. You shall blot out the memory of Amalek. You must actively fight this voice of doubt. You must remember the miracles, celebrate the victories, and refuse to let the Yetzer Hara steal your joy. Your gratitude is a weapon. Your joy is a shield. When you celebrate your wins, you are waging spiritual warfare. 30 days. This is not a passive exercise. This is active spiritual combat. If you do this, you will not only find that the attacks on your life diminish, but that you have become a different person. You will no longer be a victim of your moods or circumstances. You will be a warrior, a Jacob, who wrestles with the darkness and emerges with a limp and a blessing, stronger and more powerful than ever before. Shalom. And may you be blessed with the wisdom to recognize the battle, the courage to fight it, and the strength to emerge victorious, with the blessing of your adversary in your hand.